Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Today I will be running through the most recent monthly report for Squadron 42. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support, it is truly appreciated. So kicking off with the AI features team, they helped the AI social teams wrap up their tasks for the usable system, which is a system that describes how NPCs can interact with machinery and other objects in the verse. For example, a janitor NPC will need to interact with items like a locker to equip their uniform, or cleaning equipment like a mop and bucket. They will then need to move between spots and clean them, playing the mopping animation as they go. Now, this usable system represents many different objects and informs the NPCs how to use them, where to play the animations, and what custom logic to execute. So I know for many the idea of the janitor NPC might sound a little pointless, very similar to the whole bartender incident we had a few years ago, and although in Squadron 42 this character will be someone we can interact with and speak to and potentially get information from or missions from, but for the persistent universe, a janitor will help to clean up items dropped by players like empty bottles or maybe medical gowns and such, which in turn will actually help to alleviate pressure on the server. So a janitor NPC will actually be of some help, but of course, as usual, this system is not just specifically for the janitor, it is for every NPC in both games, and it's vital for getting to the point where we can hire an NPC as crew on our ships, as they will need to interact with ship stations, turrets, components, weaponry, and everything else that the player can. So it is a very important system that, once done, will hopefully be a step towards getting NPC crews. Now next we have the AI tech team, who spent time fixing several bugs related to NPCs using elevators. Improvements were also added to point defense cannons that allows them to track and shoot missiles, and they also made updates to allow NPCs to follow leaders in formation, matching the leader's speed and adjusting role based on the leader's orientation. So some really interesting updates there, which again, although they are being implemented in Squadron now, will have a lot of significance in the persistent universe. For example, NPCs will need to be able to use elevators to properly navigate through an area, or any area that the player can, and having point defense turrets will be required for our capital ships, and eventually our planetary bases as well, helping to defend against attacks. And then having an NPC pilot capable of flying in formation will be required when we are able, again, to hire NPCs as an escort. So all very important, and hopefully once the servers in the persistent universe get settled more significantly with server meshing, we will be able to see this stuff come to the PU, or at least see it working properly. Now, the AI tech team also worked on destructible cover functionality. Each location, they say, had to be determined whether destructible entities were part of the cover surface and register their destructible events. Then based on those events, they can either then regenerate their cover surface or adjust the location's height should it be required. Now, although this is specifically referring to how NPCs react to cover being destroyed, this will likely be linked to the new Maelstrom physical damage system as well, ensuring that the AI can react accordingly to the environment changing as it gets destroyed. So next up are the animation team. They continue to work on the look and feel of Zero G, including making it feel smoother and more exciting. They also worked on several player interaction animations, scenes for Chapter 1, and delivered final assets for several chapters. Plus, improvements were done on clothing usage for the NPCs and the player. Also, currently the team is progressing with cover hit reactions, cover and stare usage, locomotion blending into usables, and more. And I guess that the cover hit reactions are going to be to do with when an NPC is in cover and that cover is taking shots, with that cover likely becoming less effective, how an NPC will react to this visually, and then eventually move to better cover. Now, for motion capture, a number of pickup shoots were captured to smooth out various scenes, plus they captured a few actions needed for one of the main life areas and made improvements to combat reloads. And finally, for facial animation, the team continued to burn down chapter work and polish the final facial animations for several levels. Things are really beginning to sort of wrap up for many teams, it seems, which is great to hear. Now, moving on to the gameplay story team, it says they continued a high production rate throughout June adding extra audio and facial data to complete the last scene in one of the chapters. They also progressed through feedback and polishing tasks, which involved improving the head and look at in 5 different scenes, updating 2 start idols, a lighting fix, and polishing character finger movements. So this look at tech is referring to how an NPC will pick up on what you might be looking at, and then give you some additional context or information about that, which is pretty neat. The gameplay story team also delivered 4 new scenes, and Chapter 12 also received substantial updates. Now, moving on to the narrative team, they are nearly finished with the first pass of all the Galactopedia entries, and have been taking a closer look at how the entries are triggered alongside the overall player experience. Now, this is great news. Hopefully, after it has had the required polishing or bug fixing, they can then move on to getting the Galactopedia into the Persistent Universe's MOBIGLASS, as it's going to be such a nice time filler reading up on the lore of the verse while on a quantum travel, or maybe waiting for your cargo to be loaded or unloaded. Cannot wait. The narrative team also had playthroughs with other teams, as more of the content captured at the end of last year was implemented, and as the levels solidify, slight adjustments are made, which sometimes, it says, require tweaks to the dialogue to accommodate, so scripts have to be adjusted to reflect the updated flow. And then finally, for the narrative team, they worked alongside the audio team to add more ally and enemy voice packs, which is just kind of background chatter from either your side, your teammates, or the enemy, which are now going through testing and validation. Now, for the tech animation team, work progressed on the Put On and Take Off initiative, which is now close to completion, with these animations being integrated into the game soon, significantly enhancing the realism of character interactions and providing a more engaging player experience. Now, this is actually something that I am really excited to see come into the game. Having your character, or any other player or NPC character, physically putting on and taking off items of clothing or armor, like helmets for example, is going to really add a lot to the immersion and realism of the game. Not to mention, it could be the point at which armor pieces become physical entities in the game world, rather than just being a box like they are now. So being able to take off a chest piece, an arm or leg armor piece, and a helmet, and then placing them as those physical items in the world. I really hope they show this off soon on maybe Inside Star Citizen, but of course, getting it into the PU would be grand. Now, it also says that enhancements were made to the character customizer, including the successful integration of new heads. Hopefully this now includes my own head. And this, it says, will offer players more variety and customization options, with the tech animation team saying, our ongoing collaboration with the Systemic Services and Tools team and the Cinematics departments remains strong. The focus on ensuring the technical implementation of animations and scene content is of the highest quality, and this synergy is crucial in maintaining the seamless integration of animations and ensuring a top-tier visual experience for our audience. The achievements of the tech animation team this past month are a testament to their hard work and dedication, and as we move forward, we are confident that we will continue to reach new heights and deliver exceptional content for our players. So that all sounds pretty positive. Now finally, we have the visual effects team, which says they supported cinematics with major scenes across the campaign, finalizing particles, explosions, background weapon fire and timing, and destruction simulations, and they are currently working closely with other teams on improving environments, weapons, and vehicles to support the narrative and gameplay. So there you go. That was the latest Squadron 42 monthly report. Some great progress there in finalizing and polishing and wrapping up many scenes and tasks. Plus, there has been some really cool tech achievements coming along, like the physical taking off and putting on of armors and clothing, and all of the AI work too, which will eventually get added to the PU and should really help to create more of a living, breathing population plus NPC crews. Now, talking of the Persistent Universe, I will now get on with the Persistent Universe monthly report and get that broken down into a more digestible video. If you are looking to enhance your Star Citizen experience, be sure to check out any of the links below to things like MONSTERTECH mounts, GameGlass tablet integration, and the TOBII Tracker 5, in which I can provide you with a small discount, plus any purchase made using these links or my discount code being SMB, will directly support my channel and help me to keep making videos like these. So a big thank you for the support. But with that said, if you do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing. We are now less than 4,000 subscribers away from 70,000. So a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. It is much appreciated. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. You are all more than welcome over there. We are talking about Alpha 3.2.4 and 4.0 and 1.0, while also playing some off-grid stuff in 3.2.3. You are all more than welcome to come and hang out. And if you've got any questions, if you are new to the game and you want some answers or ideas on what to do or what the game's about, be sure to follow the link to my Twitch channel. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members for your additional support. It is truly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.